basically found out where the issue was. It was basically the power supply that was loose. So I then took off the circuit board. So if I just turn this a little bit this way, and then I can show you down here, basically this cable here was quite loose. So what we've done is literally take this whole box off, so the motherboard box off, which took us ages to figure out, but we got there. Took this off, and then there's a screw at the bottom with a coupling that we tightened up and so forth. So yeah, quite daunting, but believe me, you know, I would literally, you know, give people some reassurance, guys out there that's got, you know, boats like this, that, you know, if you're confident enough to know that you can put it back together, open it. It's not, it's the easiest thing. I mean, just what I've done is, as I open it and I took like cables out, I kind of made a note of where they went, or I took pictures of where things were, so I can look back at the diagram. So basically, yeah, and then fix that, and then plugged it back in, plugged the battery in, and voila, there we go. So we've done a multitude of testing, you know, done with the messing around with the cables and things, but as soon as I've plugged it back in after I've tightened those screws, literally the boat switched on straight away, and we thought, okay, good. So that is where the issue was. But also, I think at the time, obviously, there was all this crap here that I've now cleaned. It took me about probably a good 3-4 hours to clean all the dirt and the grease off. It's not 100%, but I think it's, you know, the best it could be. So what I've done now is, yeah, I put the boat back together, and then we realized one of the motors don't spin, and before we know it works because we've messed around with it, so we know it works, and instantly it was like, oh, it's probably a connection. So what I'll just show you now, so I've opened the boat obviously, and then the connection that we have found is over here, and I know it looks a bit messy, but I'm cleaning all of this up. So these are the wires that was soldered on, but they are just, quite a bad job was done of it. So part of my whole job now is really just to kind of redo the wiring to a standard that I am confident with, that I'm happy with, is, you know, a good job, and that if I do it once now, it will last me for a good 5 years or so, you know, unless, you know, 5 years if I need to change everything or whatever. I'm not looking to go and spend more money. What I did have to do is buying parts. Okay, so there's a lot of these which, you know, the whole mount screws, these are, a lot of them are just in bad condition, bad nick. Okay, what I mean by that is some of them, like this, it turns in, and that's as far as it goes. Now, you know, as this goes in the water, you can't have that because it needs to be kind of tight to as far as it can go, to make sure it's airtight, and it's watertight basically, and no water gets in. So if the water gets in, kind of, you know, you're screwed really, because it's, the water will get to your motors and wires, and water and electricity or current does not bode well together. So I've gone out, you know, I've bought some cables, just bought it from Whole Foods, you know, so I'm rewiring, you know, the bit here, and I will record what I'm doing in a minute. So just excuse the dog, he decides he wants to play now. So, but I will, you know, do a video after chatting and talking away about how I'm doing these, and I'll just record, you know, how I'm soldering this on and how I'm doing the connections and things like that. However, I've been searching everywhere for parts, because I want to replace all these screws, because some of them are just spinning and twisting and not doing anything, due to the fact that I think that there's just wear and tear on it, and a bit of grease not grease, the sealant got in there, so it's just messed it all up. And then in terms of the motor, the reason why my motor's not working is because this, not sure if you can see it from there, let me just have a look. Yeah, so that is basically the connector that connects to the motherboard, and literally it was one of the wires was hanging on by a thread, and that's why it wasn't. And by us obviously tinkering and cleaning and doing that, it just put more strain on the wire. So what I've gone everywhere today try and find this. I couldn't find it by just, you know, going Halfords, places like that, B&Q, couldn't find it. But I will try an electric shop, like electrical shop, hopefully tomorrow. But if not, you know, I'll try and salvage this anyway. I've got the little connectors there, the metal bit, got the soldering iron ready, and then I'll just kind of you know, fix that, solder it, stick it back on, and I think if it's just done properly, it won't be an issue. But to be honest with you, I couldn't find spares because I need a new a rubber mount. I've gone onto the Waverunner website, and there's nothing, you know, to say that you can buy it. I've messaged them, but there was no response from them yet. So I've gone online and I found this place in Europe, which is called Europe Bait or something, Bait Boats. And obviously I managed to find screws, replacement screws, so in total 31 for the whole. And then the mounts is you get a pack of 31, and then the screws you get a pack of 32. But also I need all the washers, and I need all the, there's a little a washer there, and there's a little rubber bit ring there as well. But what I found is when I took all of these off, there's a lot of these missing. One of the nuts, or one of these screws had 3 washers on. So I think that's, whoever's been in this boat before has done a really poor job. Shabby work, to be honest with you. But I'm determined. I paid, you know, a lot of money for this already. And I've just forked out, I think, another 80 something pound, because I mean the parts. So I've got a mount, a rubber mount, the seal coming. I've got new screws coming, and I've got a release pin for the hook. So the hook release pin, which is only like £4, or I think it was €4 euros. It was, so it's like £3, I think. But anyway, so everything came to about 70 euros. But obviously with them charging, because it's coming from Europe, and I'm paying by PayPal, they charge you for paying by PayPal. You pay the fees, and you pay for shipping, which is like 15 euros. So yeah, so I got everything, so it came to about just over 80 quid, to be honest, all in. So that is hopefully coming in the post. It did say by next day, but I'm not you know, holding my breath. So if it comes here by Wednesday, if it gets here by Wednesday, I'll be happy with that. But this gives me time now to just, you know, replace all the wires and so forth. And so enough talking, enough on the backstory of what was happening. What I'll do now is kind of show you kind of what I'm doing in terms of connections and how I'm soldering the bits on. So yeah, perfect. Thanks for watching, guys. Just follow the rest of the bit if you're interested, and if you want to know anything, just drop us a message and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, don't be scared. I think it's, you know, if you got any of these bait boats and you think, you know, it's past its warranty date and there's something right now, I want to fix it and don't want to send it off to whoever to charge an arm and a leg, don't be scared to do this, as long as you make sure you take care when you take the take the screws off and all sorts. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just test to see, and there we are. Happy with that. Soldering iron is nice and hot. What we're going to do is just heat that up, just drop a little on there. I think best is like try and heat up the wire a little bit so that you can drop a little bit onto it, and as you can see, there we go. So that's on there nicely. Just try and melt it on properly. Here we go, and that will just allow the rest to stick a bit more easier. Again, obviously, as some of you that might be experts in this better than me, as I said, it's been, oh, that's there, it's been a year since I've done that, so I think as long as I just get a good join it together nicely. Okay, just don't want the wire to get too hot. Come on. A bit shaky there. Okay, so I'll just try and get that. There we go. It's a bit messy, it's not kind of my best work, but as long as it joins together nicely, then we are happy. You know, as long as it sticks. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Can you see how the wire changes colour a little bit because it's getting too hot? So just be mindful of that. That side is actually not too hot. So what I'll do is I'll leave that one for now. Then I'll just try and make my way to this one. So luckily I've got the table underneath, so it's just dropping onto the table, it's not sticking onto that. So I will have a look at that in a second. I'll just, now that cable feels a bit kind of flimsy there, yeah, so kind of is a lot of give and take, but what I'll do is I'll put a bit of tubing over it, and then at least that will keep it nice and kind of intact. But I need to try and do this one now, which is not playing game. Let me try again. I might need some more solder. There we go. Try and do it that way. Heat up the wire a bit. Doesn't want to stick on the wire. This is not going as planned. Here we go. That's a bit better. So what I'll do is just put that back, and I have there. Remember that this is very hot, so just be careful when you're touching that. It's quite a bad joint that I've done there, but let's see what else I can do to salvage this.